In the following video, you will learn how to access resources for the impact of nursing incivility towards LGBTQ populations assignment in Nursing 217. We're currently looking at the library's website, www.hgtc.edu/library. I'm going to show you how to access the course LibGuide for Nursing 217. Scroll down on the library's website and locate the LibGuides tab. You'll see a drop-down menu that asks which guide do you need. When you open that up, alphabetically scroll down and find the Nursing 217 guide and select Go. If you're unfamiliar with LibGuides, these are specially designed sites created by librarians to help you find resources to complete the research for a particular assignment. We're currently looking at the Nursing 217 LibGuide. You'll notice that the Home tab comes up first. This is just basically a welcome page. You navigate your way around by clicking on the various tabs, and every time you click, it will then take you to that tab. We're not going to go into any specific resources right now, but I will mention that on the Books tab, you can search for print books available through our 3 campus libraries. As of the date of this recording, May 19th, the library currently has a limited book and DVD pickup service by appointment only, and if you'd like to learn more about that, there's a link to do so here. Print books are not needed for this particular assignment. You need journal articles. Therefore, the next tab also doesn't necessarily come into play for this assignment, but it's good for you to know that on the eBooks tab, you can find our various ebook collections, as well as some sample ebooks. Now, for this assignment, you need 4 resources. 2 are those given in your assignment, 1 is a nursing journal, and then you need 1 other resource. The databases are a great place to find the last 2 resources that you need, and that's the tab that we're going to click on now. Bear in mind that your resources do have to be cited in APA style, they must be from the last 5 years, and they have to be scholarly resources, like a peer-reviewed nursing journal. And that's what you're going to see right now in the video. Currently, a list of potential keywords for use in this exercise are being displayed on the screen. Before we look at a database, let me tell you what they are. Databases are collections of resources normally found in print, only you're accessing them digitally. Most databases contain journal, magazine, and newspaper articles, and some also contain entries out of books. The thing you're going to be looking for are those academic journal articles in our databases. On the right-hand side of the Databases tab, you'll find our Nursing and Allied Health databases. We're going to go into the CINAHL Complete database. You can access this from home with your H number. CINAHL Complete is one of the more popular databases with nursing students. You're going to see 2 methods of searching the CINAHL database in this video. The first one that we're going to do is a natural language search. With this type of search, you identify keywords or phrases in your topic and join them together with the word "and." So for example, with your topic of the impact of nursing incivility towards LGBTQ populations, you might identify keywords such as nursing and LGBTQ. So this is how you would conduct that search with a natural language search. I've put in my 2 search terms, nursing and LGBTQ, and I've joined them together with the word "and." "And" does not have to be capitalized, but I do it in this video to show you that I've separated 2 different terms. When we click on our results page, you'll see that we've got 147 different articles that came back. Now it's important that after you conduct your search, you refine your results. Over here on the left-hand side, you can do just that. Make sure that full text is checked. It should be already, but it doesn't hurt to double check that it does have a check mark next to that box. You'll want to limit your articles to the last 5 years. And you'll notice that there's a scroll wheel right here that I can slide up and choose only articles published in the last 5 years. And last but not least, you'll also see a box that says scholarly peer-reviewed journals. This is the highest level of journal article writing. Articles that go through peer review are very scholarly and very good resources to use. So we're going to put a check mark next to that box as well. And if you happen to be noting as we were going along, we started out with 147 results. When we limited by date, the list got smaller. When we limited by peer review, the list got smaller again. And now what you'll want to do is take a look through the list, and when you find a title that looks good to you, go ahead and click on it. In a moment, we're going to go and take a look at this article by clicking on the PDF full text link. But before we do that, a few other things to point out to you of interest. The source line tells you which journal this came out of. This came out of a journal called Kansas Nurse. Also here you will find the major subjects and the minor subjects. These are subject headings that are assigned to this article that are what that article happens to be about. And these are also hyperlinks. So if you clicked on these, you could find related articles that have that same either minor subject or major subject. We're going to click on the PDF full text link right now and take a look at this particular article. Now, when you find one that looks good to you, there's a link over on the right-hand side where you can email this to yourself. This is very helpful to keep you from having to go back and find the article again in the future. You can always go into your email inbox and find the article that way. One of the nice things about the email feature is not only are you emailing the article itself to you, but you can also specify that it include an APA citation with the email. So you'll get the article and a suggested APA citation. And if you're interested in seeing what the APA citation would look like, there is a link here as well showing you what that would be. Now these are computer generated, so do double check them for accuracy before you actually use them on your final references list. And as a side note, when you go into an article from the results list, all of those buttons that I was just mentioning are also over here on the right-hand side of the page. And now, if that article wasn't exactly what you were looking for, you would go back and you would look through the rest of the list to try and find other ones that fit exactly what you needed. Now we're going to do the second type of search in the CINAHL Complete database, and that's one using CINAHL's controlled vocabulary search. The way that you access this type of search is by clicking up here in the blue bar where it says CINAHL Subject Headings. While I'm going to show you this now, do note that there is a tutorial that you could watch that could tell you more about conducting this controlled vocabulary search. We're going to come in the search box right here and do a search for health disparities. You'll notice that it's a browse button that you're going to click on. What the CINAHL database is telling you is that when you do a search in controlled vocabulary for health disparities, they bring up a list of results that are ones that they recommend you search for. And as you can see, healthcare disparities is the subject heading or the controlled vocabulary that they recommend you use to search that particular topic in this database. So I can click on this checkbox right here, And if I wanted, I could immediately slide over and click on the Search Database button and find all of the articles that were assigned this particular subject heading, Healthcare Disparities. Or if I wanted to further narrow that down, you'll notice in this blue colored box here, I can choose subheadings within that category to have a more focused set of search results. But if you don't want to do that, the box that says include all subheadings is already checked, and you can leave it that way. So what we will find is articles where healthcare disparities, the subject heading healthcare disparities, is what the article is primarily about. So we're going to click on this green Search Database button now. And you'll see that I found quite a few results. There are over 12,000 articles within the CINAHL database that have been assigned this subject heading. Now remember, as you're looking through the list of results, you'll want to refine them before going through the entire list. So in this case, I definitely want to make sure that the full text box is checked because I want to look at only articles that I have full access to. I want to make sure that I've got articles that were published in the last 5 years. And I want to find scholarly peer-reviewed journal articles. So a moment ago, we had over 12,000 articles. Now we're down to 2,300 articles. And if you want to further refine this list, you can tie back in the previous type of search we did, where I can now add another search term. Maybe I could put in "and nursing." And now I've got 141 articles. Instead of nursing, I could put in LGBTQ. And now I'm down to 59 articles. Try other searches with other keywords and combinations of keywords, remembering those ones that were on the screen previously in the video. And you can use, again, either the natural language search that we did first or the controlled vocabulary search. And make sure that you email any articles you like and include the APA citation when you send them to yourself. The next database that we're going to take a look at is the HealthSource Nursing Academic Edition database. And here you can see it on the list. This database is made by the same company that made the CINAHL database, so it looks similar to it, but understand that you can try the same keywords or keyword strings in a different database. And while there may still be some crossover of articles, you will get new articles in a different database. So let's try a search here for nursing and LGBTQ. I've got 97 articles that came back, but by now you're probably familiar with what we need to do. Full text should be checked. Your articles should be from the last 5 years, and they should be peer-reviewed journal articles. And now you can see we're down to 43 different articles. Now remember, you can try different searches. So maybe you want to come up here and keep nursing as one of your search terms, but you want to put in incivility as another search term. This will give you a different set of results, but again, you'll want to make sure that your limiters are still in place. And in this case, they did stay there. Full text is checked, peer-reviewed is checked, and we have articles from the last 5 years. And again, don't be afraid to try other combinations of search terms to find what you're looking for. One last database to highlight on this page is the Health and Medicine database from Gale. It's called Health and Medicine Gale 1 file. This would also be a good one to take a look at. One final thing to note on this particular tab of your LibGuide, the Databases tab, you'll find Journal Search. Journal Search is an option to see what journal titles the library has access to. You access Journal Search through the library's homepage. You'll notice there's a link that says Library Website. When we click on that, we're back on the library's homepage, and if we click on the Databases tab, we can then click on Journal Search. We have two different options from this page here. We could type in the name of a journal in this box and see if the library has access to that journal in any of our databases. Or we can come down here and browse by discipline, and we could go into the Nursing and Allied Health section and browse through the titles in that area. Now you can refine this list. You can say that you only want to look at the ones that are peer-reviewed and the ones that deal with nursing. And now my 650 titles is down to 192. One thing that some library resources offer you is the ability to increase the number of results on a results page. You'll notice right here there's a page options button, and I can click on that and get 50 results per page. This is sometimes helpful if you plan on scrolling through a lot of results page. This way you can get more results on one page at a time. We're going to go down and we're going to look at one of the items on page 2. I'm going to look at number 86, the Journal of Nursing Care Quality. So we have access to this particular journal, and when you click on the plus symbol that says full text access, it tells you which library databases we have access to for that journal, and it tells you what years are covered. So in this instance, while the journal might be an interesting title, we only have access from 1999 to 2007. So it would not have articles that were written within the last 5 years. Now, moving forward to page 4, we're going to look at number 159, Professional Nursing Today. If I click on the plus symbol, you'll note that we have access to this particular journal in these two databases, and we have articles from 2006 until the present. So that would have articles that were written within the last 5 years. So I could go into the CINAHL Complete database, which we saw at the beginning of this video, and find articles from this particular journal. I could either browse by the various issues, or I can click on Search within this publication. You'll notice what it does is it puts the name of the journal in the search box, and from here, I just have to add the word and then a search term or a phrase that I want from any of the articles in this particular journal. One quick search tip. If you put a phrase in quotation marks, that can lock in your search so that those words are searched only in the order in which you have typed them. So now I get a list of any articles that have this phrase that were written in this particular journal. Now I would still want to apply all of my limiters that you saw earlier of within the last 5 years, which this one is, it's from 2017, but then I'd also want to make sure that I have full text and peer-reviewed checked, especially if this was a very large list of results. A few other quick items to point out on your LibGuide before wrapping up. We do have a tab for citing sources in APA style. One of the nice links that you will find on this page is the link to Purdue University's OWL, the online writing lab. That's probably the best site for finding examples of cited sources in APA style. So you're encouraged to look at that if you need any assistance. One quick thing that a lot of students forget with APA style, you're only to capitalize the first letter of the first word in an article's title, and then the first letter of the first word if there is a subtitle. Those are the only things that are capitalized. There's also a tab for the various learning support services at the college, be it the SSTC, which is the Tutoring Center, the Writing Center, Tech Central, and the Testing Center. Information about all of those can be found on this tab. And then on the Get Help tab, you can find all the various methods for receiving assistance from the library. Whatever works for you works for us. If you want to send us a text, send us an email, chat, or any of the other ways that you can contact the library, we're more than happy to help you and assist you in your research. So to wrap up, as a reminder, your Nursing 217 LibGuide is available on the library's website by clicking on the LibGuides tab, selecting Nursing 217, and clicking the Go button. Thanks for watching.